Ray Lewis was not just the face of a defense. He was the heart and soul of the Baltimore Ravens. Have you ever stopped to think about what he meant to the team? How his energy, leadership, and intensity turned every game into a battle where victory was the only option. In this video, we'll show you all the details of the immeasurable impact Ray had on the franchise and what made him a true NFL legend. Every play, every tense moment, every victory. You'll understand why he is considered one of the greatest linebackers of all time. Stay with me until the end, because what you'll discover will change the way you see this giant of American football. Go Ravens! The Baltimore Ravens were born in 1996, but they were nothing more than a team with no history, no tradition, just a new franchise trying to find its identity in the NFL. To build something great, it took more than just a roster. It needed a soul, a leader who would show the world who the Ravens would really be. And it was in this scenario that Ray Lewis emerged. Picked 26 in the draft. He wasn't the tallest or the strongest player, but he had something no one could teach. An uncontrollable determination and a will to win that overflowed in every play. Many teams passed on him, doubting if he could be dominant in the NFL, but Baltimore saw what others didn't. From the first practice, it was clear that this pick wasn't just about finding a good linebacker. The Ravens had just brought into the fold a guy who would change the franchise's destiny. Lewis didn't need time to adjust. He stepped onto the field and immediately became the heart of the defense, calling plays, adjusting positioning, and above all, demanding respect. He wasn't just another rookie trying to prove himself. He acted like a leader, demanding the most from his teammates and making it clear that as long as he was on the field, the Ravens would play with maximum intensity. His rookie season was a warning to the rest of the league. Lewis ended the year with 110 tackles and 2 interceptions, showing that his intelligence and instincts were well beyond the average. He read plays as if he had been playing against those offenses for years. His work on the field, his energy off it, and his relentless leadership quickly made him the face of the Ravens defense. He didn't need a decade to establish himself. In just 1 year, it was unquestionable that this team had a new leader. But leadership isn't just about words, and Ray Lewis made sure to show that every day, every practice, every play, every moment in the locker room was an example of how a true competitor behaves. He showed up earlier than everyone, left later than everyone, and never accepted anything less than excellence. Both veteran and rookie players quickly understood that if they want to play alongside Ray Lewis, they had to elevate their level. He turned raw talent into discipline, aggression into strategy, and effort into a winning culture. The Ravens were still far from becoming champions, but one thing was already clear. With Lewis at the helm, this team would never be seen as weak or without identity. He didn't just symbolize the strength and aggression that Baltimore wanted to impose, but he also created a mentality where no one would enter that locker room without being challenged to the fullest. Lewis wasn't there to participate in the NFL. He was there to transform a team with no history into one of the most respected in the league. From that moment on, Baltimore became a team that played differently, competed differently, and behaved differently. And it all came from Ray Lewis. While many players entered the league just to have good careers, he wanted something greater, to change the game, and that's exactly what he was starting to do. This transformation wasn't just on the field. Ray Lewis' mentality spread throughout the team and set a new standard. But his impact went beyond the plays. He would become the true commander of the defense, a general who would shape the entire identity of the Ravens. If there's one word that defines Ray Lewis on the field, it is commander. He wasn't just a linebacker making big plays. He was the voice, the mind, and the energy that guided the entire Ravens defense. From the early years, it was clear that he was more than just another talented player. He saw the game differently. He knew what the opposing offense was going to do before the ball was even snapped. He knew exactly where each teammate needed to be. He knew how to command respect just by the way he positioned himself. Baltimore didn't just have a great defender. It had a strategist, a general in the middle of the field. The Ravens' defense quickly became an extension of Ray Lewis. If a player was out of position, he knew it. If the offense's play indicated a run, he called it out. If the pressure needed to come from the right side, he adjusted. And he didn't just talk. He demanded that every player around him bring the same level of intensity that he did. If someone wasn't fully committed, there was no place for them on that team. This mentality started transforming the Ravens, turning them from a team without an identity into one of the most aggressive and disciplined offenses in the NFL. And it all started with Lewis' presence. His game preparation was obsessive. He studied opponent film until late at night, memorized play patterns, and knew exactly how each quarterback thought. By the time he stepped onto the field, he had already played that game hundreds of times in his mind. This allowed him not only to perform at the highest level, but also to put his teammates in the best position for success. Baltimore was no longer a team that simply reacted to plays. It was a team that anticipated, dictated the tempo, and forced opponents into mistakes. Lewis wasn't satisfied with just being a great player. He wanted to make his teammates great as well. Over the years, a true defensive empire was built around him. Players like Peter Boulware, Jamie Sharper, Chris McAllister, Haloti Ngata, and later Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed thrived under his leadership. Lewis didn't just command the defense on the field. He did off the field as well, teaching younger players how to train, how to study the game, and how to carry themselves like true champions. He didn't just want to win. He wanted to leave a legacy. As the years went by, the Ravens stopped being just another team and became a defensive powerhouse in the NFL. Players knew that if they wanted to succeed in Baltimore, they had to meet the standards set by Lewis. No defense respected the game more than the Ravens. No defense played with more intensity. No defense instilled more fear. This wasn't by accident. Lewis established the franchise's culture and transformed Baltimore into a place where defense wasn't just a part of the game. It was a way of life. And when games got tough, when the opponent threatened, it was always Lewis who elevated the team. He knew what to say. He knew how to motivate. His fiery pre-game speeches became legendary, creating an atmosphere where every player felt they were fighting for something much bigger than just a win. And when the opening whistle blew, there was no doubt this was Ray Lewis' team. This transformation was not in vain. The mindset Lewis instilled in the Ravens' defense would soon lead the team to one of the most historic moments in NFL history. The year 2000 would be the pinnacle of this revolution, a season in which Baltimore didn't just become the best defense in the league, but cemented itself as one of the greatest of all time. And can you visualize the transformation that Ray Lewis brought to the Ravens' defense? Drop a comment if you can see the impact of a leader like him on a team, or if you know of another player who made such a profound change in the game. Let's discuss it in the comments. In 2000, the Baltimore Ravens weren't just a football team. They were an unstoppable force. The defense, led by Ray Lewis, became the foundation of the team and the primary reason they won the championship. If you're a Ravens fan, you know that season was magical, but what many forget is just how historic that defense truly was. Ray Lewis wasn't just a player in the system. He was the soul of the defense, the mind that guided the team to victory. Ray Lewis and the Ravens didn't just win games. They dominated their opponents. With each passing game, it became even clearer how overwhelming their defense was. And Lewis was the heart of it all. He led not only with his ability to read the game, but also with his unbreakable mentality and commanding presence on the field. His teammates fed off his energy, creating a team that was united, focused, and prepared for any challenge. It was as if nothing could stop this defensive machine. When Super Bowl 35 arrived, everyone expected an epic battle. But few anticipated what was about to unfold. Ray Lewis was at his peak. It wasn't just his physical ability. It was his intelligence and leadership that made the Ravens' defense unforgettable. In that game, he didn't just make spectacular tackles and replays. He was a driving force that infused his team with an indescribable energy. Lewis was the beating heart of the Ravens, and his determination made all the difference in crucial moments. Super Bowl 35 wasn't just a victory. It was a demonstration of what happens when a defense becomes nearly unstoppable. The Ravens completely shut down the Giants' offense, and Ray Lewis delivered a legendary performance. He was named the game's MVP, cementing his place among the greatest in NFL history. His impact in that Super Bowl wasn't just technical. It was emotional. He wasn't there to simply prove he was a great player. He was there to show he was the best at his position. His performance was a masterpiece of leadership, intensity, and skill. The 2000 Ravens defense was more than just one of the best in NFL history. It redefined what it meant to play with intensity, discipline, and above all, an unbreakable team spirit. Ray Lewis turned the defense into more than just a line of battle. He made it the very identity of the team. His impact went beyond statistics. He was an emotional and technical pillar, and without him, the Ravens' success would have been incomplete. Lewis didn't just lead the team to a Super Bowl. He made them a legend. This defense and Ray Lewis' performance didn't just secure a championship. They transformed the Ravens into a respected and feared franchise across the NFL. For Ravens fans, those moments are forever etched in memory as a testament to what can be achieved through dedication, hard work, and the leadership of a player like Lewis. The 2000 season was more than just a triumph. It was a statement that with Ray Lewis, the Ravens were more than a team. They were a force. But was Ray Lewis' journey and the Ravens' success in 2000 more than just a victory? Was it the turning point for a new era in the franchise? Let's explore that in the next topic, as we discuss how Ray Lewis revolutionized the Ravens' defense and took the team to the top of the NFL. Ray Lewis wasn't just the leader of the defense. He was the soul of the Ravens' locker room. His presence was immense and unmistakable, a pillar that kept the team united, focused, and relentless in their pursuit of success. The way he approached every practice, every game, and even the toughest moments off the field made his teammates follow him without hesitation. He didn't just lead on the field. He motivated and inspired everyone around him, shaping the Ravens' culture with values like commitment, resilience, and hard work. Inside the locker room, Ray Lewis was much more than a tactical leader. He had the rare ability to read people, to understand what each player needed to push themselves beyond their limits. His motivational speeches became legendary, serving as a unifying force that aligned everyone toward a single goal, winning. He knew exactly when to speak, what to say, and how to reach his teammates on a deeper level, making them give their all not just for him, but for the team as a whole. Lewis' impact in the locker room wasn't just about words. His work ethic and dedication were contagious. He was the first to arrive and the last to leave, setting a standard that every player felt compelled to match. No one wanted to fall behind. No one wanted to disappoint someone who was willing to sacrifice everything for the team. This mindset didn't just elevate the team's performance. It created a brotherhood that defined the Ravens in their most crucial moments. It's difficult to measure Ray Lewis' impact in numbers or statistics. But if there's one undeniable thing he brought to the Ravens, it was a winning mentality. He helped establish a culture where every player knew they would be challenged to give their best, where the word quit simply did not exist. His presence in the locker room was the catalyst for building one of the most dominant and respected defenses in NFL history. His influence didn't end with his playing days. Ray Lewis left an enduring mark on how the Ravens prepared and competed. He not only shaped the defense, but also influenced future generations of players who passed through Baltimore. Players like Terrell Suggs, Ray Rice, and many others carried forward the lessons they learned from Lewis. And there's no doubt that the culture he built still defines the franchise today. This legacy, though somewhat invisible, remains one of Ray Lewis' greatest contributions to the Ravens. He wasn't just a great player. He was a role model for everyone within the team. His ability to motivate and unify those around him created an environment where exceeding expectations was an exception. It was the standard. Lewis' legacy goes far beyond highlight reel plays or impressive stats. He transformed the Ravens' locker room into a space where success was truly a shared responsibility. This connection between leadership and the culture Ray Lewis created is a clear example of how a strong mentality shapes a franchise. All right, we're moving on to the fifth topic, but before that, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. That's really important to help YouTube continue recommending my content to you, so I can keep bringing you the best Ravens content. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free. All right, let's continue. Ray Lewis, despite his greatness on the field, was not immune to the challenges that life and a professional football career bring. In 2000, he found himself involved in one of the biggest controversies in NFL history. The accusation of involvement in a double homicide shook his career and his image, a test no athlete would want to face. This moment was a turning point for Lewis, as he had to confront one of the most difficult and public situations of his personal life. The case, although it generated immense media pressure, was not enough to break Ray Lewis's mental strength. The linebacker used this adversity as fuel for his comeback. Instead of being consumed by negativity and the doubt surrounding him, he transformed, both as an athlete and as a person. The way he handled the crisis, maintaining his faith, determination, and leadership, proved to the world that his mindset would not be shaken by external circumstances. Lewis not only faced the legal consequences, but also had to fight against public perception. In a society quick to judge, especially public figures like him, Ray dedicated himself to restoring his image and regaining the trust of his fans and teammates. His ability to rise again, even in the face of such extreme adversity, reflects the strength of character that made him one of the most respected figures in the NFL, both by fans and by his fellow players. Ray Lewis's response to adversity also had a direct impact on his team and community. He did not hide from his failures or mistakes, but instead used experience as a lesson. His honesty and the way of his story served as an example to others, showing that no one is immune to errors. But the true measure of a man is how he handles his falls and rises stronger. In many ways, how he dealt with this episode of his life helped solidify his position as a leader, not just on the field but beyond it. This period of overcoming obstacles not only shaped the player he would become in the future, but also forged resilience that would be crucial for the next phases of his career. From this experience, Lewis became even more determined, more focused, and more aware of his role as a role model. And although it was a dark phase, it also helped define Ray Lewis's legacy, one that, even in his most challenging moments, never strayed from what he believed to be his purpose in the NFL. This moment of adversity also revealed the true essence of his personality. Ray Lewis was not someone who would shy away from a fight. On the contrary, he used his difficulty as a stepping stone to strengthen himself and those around him. When many could have lost their way, he remained firm, and this ability to turn difficult moments into growth opportunities is one of the biggest reasons for his continued relevance in sports history. The lesson Ray Lewis leaves us with his response to this difficult moment is clear. No one is invulnerable, but how you rise after a fall is what truly defines your legacy. Ray Lewis's career ended in a way befitting a true champion. In 2012, after a season marked by injuries, Lewis made the decision to return to the field with a clear mission: to win a second Super Bowl for the Ravens and close his career in an unbeatable way. His determination to recover from a serious injury was a reflection of his indomitable mentality, which never allowed obstacles to divert him from his goal. The 2012 season was a true test for Lewis, who was in the final stretch of his playing career. But instead of slowing down, he used every moment, every practice, and every game as an opportunity to lead his team. Ray Lewis's presence on the field was not just physical, but also spiritual and emotional. His energy was contagious, and his leadership, already solid over the years, became even stronger in this final chapter of his career. In Super Bowl 47, when the Baltimore Ravens faced the San Francisco 49ers, Lewis was no longer just the leader of the defense, but the beating heart of the team. His performance in the game was symbolic, with the Ravens' defense maintaining control for most of the contest. Though it wasn't an individually dominant performance, his collective contribution and leadership impact on the field were essential to Baltimore securing the long-awaited Super Bowl title. This victory, beyond crowning the team as champions, represented the perfect closing of a cycle for Ray Lewis. He had started his journey with the Ravens in a dominant way and finished with the same strength, now with a second Super Bowl under his belt. The emotional impact of this victory was immense, both for Lewis and for all those who had followed his career. It was a farewell every athlete dreams of having, leaving on top with one last dance to celebrate his greatness. However, what truly sealed Ray Lewis's farewell as one of the greatest in history was not just the Super Bowl victory, but what he did after the final whistle. His demeanor in the locker room, his emotions, words of gratitude, and connection with his teammates showed how his leadership transcended the game itself. Ray Lewis was not just a player, but a true inspiration, someone who had guided his team not only with tactics, but with passion and heart. This farewell carried immense symbolic weight for the Ravens franchise and the fans who had followed him throughout his career. The relationship between Ray Lewis and the Ravens was always deeper than a simple player-team partnership. It was a true brotherhood forged through challenges, victories, and resilience. For Lewis, this title was not just an ending, but a celebration of the legacy he had built. Ray Lewis could not have asked for a more perfect farewell. His journey, filled with sacrifices and triumphs, culminated in a victory that turned his exit into a true coronation. And if you've made it this far, comment, Ray Lewis's legend is immortal, so I'll know that you appreciate the history he built with the Ravens and the NFL. Let's continue. Ray Lewis was not just an incredible linebacker. He is considered an NFL legend, one of the most impactful players at his position. Throughout his career, he not only broke records, but also redefined what it means to be a leader both on and off the field. His presence in the game was not just physical, but also mental and emotional, which placed him among the greatest in league history. He was more than just a defender. He was a true field general whose influence extended beyond the sidelines, inspiring generations of players and fans. Ray Lewis became synonymous with an impenetrable defense, and his legacy goes far beyond numbers or championships. Comparing Ray Lewis to other legendary linebackers like Lawrence Taylor or Dick Butkus is a challenging task because each brought something unique to the game. However, when looking at the totality of Lewis' career, his tactical brilliance, relentless work ethic, leadership, and championship success, he stands out as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, linebackers of all time. His ability to motivate the Ravens' defense and elevate his team is something many defenders have tried to replicate over the years, but few have ever matched his intensity. Moreover, the way Lewis raised the standard of play during his time on the field cannot be ignored. He transformed the Ravens' defense, creating a legacy of excellence where aggression and focus were defining traits. During his tenure, the Ravens became known for their dominant defense, and much of that identity was shaped by Lewis. His presence in the locker room and his ability to inspire younger players helped establish a competitive culture that remains to this day. Ray Lewis was not just a player. He was a cornerstone of the franchise. Ray Lewis' impact on the NFL extends beyond victories. His playing style, passion, and energy resonated not just with the Ravens, but across the entire league. His relentless approach to the game redefined the linebacker position. Many players have tried to emulate his mindset, but few have been able to match his unique combination of intelligence, skill, and ferocity. Ray Lewis' legacy endures, serving as a benchmark for future generations of defenders aspiring to reach his level of excellence. Today, Ray Lewis remains a revered name in the world of football. Even after his retirement, he continues to command respect, with his words and actions still echoing in the Ravens' locker room and the hearts of many fans. His ability to impact the game so profoundly cemented his place in NFL history, and his presence still influences the new generation of players who look up to him as the ultimate example of leadership and greatness. It is undeniable that Ray Lewis is not just one of the best linebackers ever, but one of the greatest players in NFL history. He transcended the boundaries of his position, leaving an imprint felt in every aspect of the game. His career was filled with historic moments, and his influence remains evident today, both for fans and for players carving their own paths in the league. His contributions to the game and his importance in NFL history are indisputable, and Ray Lewis' legacy will continue to inspire and shape football for many years to come. Now, after everything we discussed, one thing is clear. Ray Lewis is not just one of the greatest linebackers in NFL history. He is a legend who transcends the game itself. His journey, from his draft selection to his glorious farewell, is marked by achievements, challenges, and unique leadership that defined the Ravens' defense for years. He didn't just shape the team. He influenced an entire generation of players and fans with his mindset, work ethic, and presence on the field. The real question is, how will Ray Lewis continue to inspire future generations both on and off the NFL field? If you also believe that Ray Lewis is one of the greatest of all time, share your thoughts in the comments and show how important he is to the history of the Ravens and the NFL. We cannot let the legacy of such an extraordinary player be forgotten.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.